Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Menken here with Splash Sports. Today is April 14th, but before I get into my free plays, let's take a little recap on yesterday's performance. Yet again, every single one of our plays hit a YRFI yes runs first inning. We smacked 2 out of the 3 plays. Obviously, our NRFI ended up losing. I will say, to start this season, a lot more YRFIs, yes runs first inning, have been hitting a lot more than NRFIs. That's why we're adjusting here. As you can see in the plays, we're going with 2 YRFIs in 1 NRFI here. And then also to start our Saturday morning, we hit a 3-team parlay on straight bets. We had the New York Yankees, the Cincinnati Reds, and the Kansas City Royals to start Saturday off. Once again, you could find those plays at Nick Menken on X. Make sure to go follow me to keep up with daily tickets. All right, we're still looking for that clean sweep. Still had a winning day yesterday, going 2-1. Let's get that 3-0 sweep. Let's roll into it, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, on this show, all we care about is the first 6 outs of the ball game, plain and simple. A NRFI means no runs first inning, while a YRFI means yes runs first inning. But before I get into my free plays, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on that notification button. That way, every time I drop another play, you guys will be notified. All right, let's take a look at Sunday, April 14th game, starting off with game number 1. We got the Kansas City Royals taking on the New York Mets. Right now for the Kansas City Royals, Cole Reagan will be on the mound. He is 0-1 with 17.1 innings of work with an ERA right now of 2.6, but he has 21 strikeouts and 5 earned runs. Looking at his strikeouts to his innings pitched, he is averaging a little over 1 strikeout per inning here for Cole, so that's very good signs for this Kansas City Royals team as he was added to this rotation in the offseason from the Texas Rangers. I think it's a good pickup, especially for this rotation for the Royals. He'll be matched up here against Jose Butto. He has 1 game started with 6 innings of work, an ERA of 1.5, 6 Ks in 1 earned run. Like I said, Cole is a very good pickup for this Royals rotation. He came over from that World Series team in the Texas Rangers, had a lot of success. I think it gives him a lot more wins here later down in the road from his rotation and his good starts here later on in the season for Cole. You look at Butto here. He had a good outing in his first start for his 2024 campaign against the Tigers. He went 6 innings of work and only gave up 1 earned run. You look at both offenses, and they have been hitting the ball extremely well. You look at this series in itself. You look at game 1. The Mets absolutely jumped on the Kansas City Royals, going they scored 6 runs, and the Royals only scored 1. The Mets got game 1, and then game 2, they both came out stroking the ball here, but the Royals got the best of them in game 2 to even the series 1-1 here. The Royals ended up scoring 11 runs in that game. I believe this is going to be a pitcher duel here. We got 1-1 series. It's, a rubber match to say the least. I think both pitchers have a good bounce back game. Get off to hot starts here, and offensively for both of these teams, they start slowing down a little bit. That's why in game number 1, between the Kansas City Royals and the New York Mets, we're smacking the NRFI. No runs first inning. Let's roll into game number 2, where the Minnesota Twins take on the Detroit Tigers. Right now for the Minnesota Twins, Ober will be on the mound. He is 0-1 with 6.1 innings of work this season. He's got a higher end of an ERA with 12.79, 8 Ks in 9 earned runs. You look at who this Tiger pitching staff is throwing out here. They got Jake Flaherty here throwing him out. He's 0-1 with 12 innings of work, an ERA of 5.25 with 12 Ks and 7 earned runs. You look at this series and what the Detroit Tigers have been doing offensively, especially in the first inning. Game number 1 of this series, they scored 1 run, and then game number 2, they scored 2 runs in that bottom of the first inning with Kerry Carpenter's home run. Jake Flaherty, to me, just has not looked good. Didn't look good in his last outing going against the Oakland Athletics, going 6 innings of work, 9 hits, and 6 earned runs. Even though this Tigers team has been scoring early, which they definitely can do on Ober if he's not locked in here in the bottom of the first inning, I still think this Minnesota Twins team offensively scratches a run here early on Jake Flaherty. I know this Minnesota Twins team has been striking out a little way too much to start the beginning of the season. I'm leaning towards Byron Buxton to do something big here and do something big in the top of the first. That's why in game number 2, between the Minnesota Twins and the Detroit Tigers, we're smacking the YRFI yes runs first inning. So we're on our third and final game between the Cincinnati Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago White Sox. Right now for the Cincinnati Reds, Ashcraft will be on the mound. He is 1-1 this season with 11.2 innings of work. He has an ERA of 5.40, 11 Ks, and 7 earned runs. He'll be matched up against the Chicago White Sox. Seiroki. He's 0-1 this season, 14.2 innings of work, an ERA of 6.14, 6 Ks, and 10 earned runs. Clearly, Michael Siraki is absolutely struggling for this White Sox team. You look at what this Cincinnati Reds team has done to the Chicago White Sox in the past 2 games. They scored 16 runs combined offensively in just 2 games here at the Cell. I'm expecting this Cincinnati Reds team, especially offensively, to come out swinging. Same thing that they've been doing these first 2 games and absolutely put a beating on the Chicago White Sox. That's why in game number 3 between the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago White Sox, we're also smacking the YRFI. Yes, runs first inning. Let's take a recap of the games I've selected for you today. Game number 1 between the Kansas City Royals and the New York Mets. We're hitting the NRFI. No runs first inning. Game number 2 between the Minnesota Twins and the Detroit Tigers. We're smacking the YRFI. Yes, runs first inning. And in game number 3 between the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago White Sox, we are smacking the YRFI. Yes, runs first inning. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Nick Menken with Splash Sports. If you have not done so, smack that like button for me. Helps me out a ton and it costs you guys none. And also, if you're looking for every single one of my plays, make sure to go follow me on X at Nick Menken. Best of luck and best bets.